Welcome to the latest in the Salon Iris webinar series. We're recording this May 1st, and it's not quite as warm as I'd hoped yet, but we're making do. Hello to those of you listening to this in the future. Now I want to welcome our resident stylists here at Salon Iris, Angela and Andrea. They're talking about the challenges many will face when they open their salons.
Thanks, Natalie. Andrea, what were you hearing?
I honestly think, I've heard a few things already starting this week because salons are actually opening back up.
I know.
And so they have to have a mask for every client, and all of the staff have to have a mask, let alone they have to have enough towels because they have to cover their face with a towel when they're laying in the shampoo bowl. So salons are really going to have to stock up on extra linens, masks. It could actually get quite expensive, and they're going to have to order quite a few things just to open up.
Yeah. So. And getting ahead of those supply chain issues. I mean, I was waiting 3 weeks for a 20-pack of face masks. Probably getting ahead of, gloves, things that were normally used to just going up to the beauty supply store to grab are not going to be there, like alcohol.
I don't know where they're going to find all of these items because they're not in stock near me. I don't know about you. But.
Oh, no. Everything I have ordered online and waited a very long time to get. So, yeah, I think starting to plan now is the way to go for supplies even. I haven't checked in on what is happening with color supplies. I'm sure those are all well stocked up. But I do think people are going to have to keep in mind that when their area opens up, there's going to be a mad rush at the stores. So getting ahead of color supplies and processing liquid, everything they're going to need, because when things do open up, people that planned late are going to snatch up everything off the shelves.
Well, they really are. Yeah, and they're going to have to double up on color because, your general 1/2 inch to 1 inch new growth could quite possibly be up to 3 or 4 inches long. They're going to actually have to double up on the amount of color they use with some of their customers other than normal.
Yeah.
So
that's where having teleconsultations would be super handy, because if you can get ahead of this, get your consultations in beforehand so you know what color you're going to need, that would be a huge help. You could get in, see, how long has it been since you saw this client? And, if you need 2 tubes of color for them, write down the formula you're going to need for them and grab those ahead of time on top of your normal inventory where you're not drowning.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think even starting those, as soon as they know the date that they can open, at least 2 to 3 weeks to start, scheduling those and getting those consultations in before they come in. I absolutely agree. That way they know they're fully stocked. They know if anybody is in need of a corrective color because they've done something to themselves at home. They'll know exactly what type of color they need because it's going to be totally different than what they're used to.
Right. And let's face it, they're probably going to need some sort of reparative treatments on hand too.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's big around here? Well water. I bet a lot of people are going to have some serious well water buildup in their hair. That's going to be something you're going to want to stock up on.
That's very true. Well, and I'm just imagining consultations in general taking that much longer because now we got to talk about what your hair's grown into, now where we're going to take it and cut it to, what we're going to do with the color that's completely different. The consultations are already lengthy sometimes in the first place, and it's almost like everybody's a new customer again. So those consultations are going to take much longer.
Yeah, that's a really great point. They are going to be like new clients again, because not only are they, whether they want the same old, I think a lot of people are going to kind of come out of this wanting some sort of change, some sort of, not to go back to the exact same. So yes, even if you do try to plan ahead from old formulas, chances are you're not going to be grabbing everything you truly need.
No.
Yeah.
No, and I'm not sure, I haven't heard a lot yet about spa services. I've seen a lot about hair and how they have to have a mask on and different things. As far as massage therapy and nails and all of that, I would assume the same restrictions will probably apply. And each state will be a little bit different. But again, I would think those areas are going to absolutely need to double up on all of their back bar and resources that they need for working. So.
Yes, absolutely. And I do want to encourage people. I know it's going to be weird to ask this, but people will understand because there's going to be an increased expense in the service. You probably will have to put a surcharge on there for extra equipment. And I think that's something the public will absolutely understand, but that you need to consider because your product charges just went up a bit.
I
Quite a
agree.
bit.
Well, and not only that, but I mean, so many people are going to want to get in all of a sudden. You're going to have all of your clients calling at once. It'd be a good time to maybe consider implementing a deposit, taking deposits or charging for no-shows, because these appointments have become so valuable. You've really created these wait lists and people are waiting in line to get in. So if someone gets a spot, it's very valuable. So it might be a great idea to take a deposit for those or implement a new no-show fee policy that you would.
Yeah, I agree. I agree totally. I actually had something kind of different, but along the same lines that I was going to bring up for deposits. I think there's going to be, and I want to think the best of people, but there's going to be some people that want to like snatch up a bunch of appointments to kind of, make sure they have that appointment, the one that they need, or try to kind of hoard appointments a little bit. And I think by taking deposits, not only are you, assuring them that you have an appointment with me, whether it's the time that we agree on or whether it has to be a little later. You have a deposit. This is your appointment. But it also prevents them from just, snatching every appointment that they can because they're afraid they're going to lose their appointment. So now you've given them some reassurance. This is theirs no matter what. Even if you have to move it, it's theirs, right? And they're not going to want to put deposits on 4 different services. And if they do, then awesome. I doubt they're going to want to.
No, well, then they'll just get charged the no-show fee, right? No,
exactly.
But no, that's a really good point because, I think we've definitely understood how people want to hoard things, when there's anxiety and people are worried that is a natural reaction. That's a really good point.
For sure. I have 3 unnecessary crates of toilet paper in my hallway right now for that very reason. So I totally understand.
Another thing I was thinking about was, salon owners are probably going to have to spread out their employees. Like possibly they can only work at a certain capacity. So 50%, let's say my staff can work today, the other 50% can work tomorrow. So they're going to have to get into their software, adjust schedules, adjust open and close times, possibly. They might want to split their staff. Half works in the morning, the other half works in the evening, or all of you work today, or not all of you, but 50% of you work today, 50% tomorrow. So they're going to really have to plan for that as well and be prepared for that.
Yeah, it's
possibility.
Going to take a lot of coordination. That and preventing, lobby overlap. You're going to need to have some sort of system in place that prevents people from everybody sitting next to each other in a lobby. No more overlapping appointments. No more, doing another service while a color's processing. Not to bring up pricing again, but I think that's something people are going to have to consider when they are repricing their services coming back.
True. Well, and I would even assume with the space idea in the lobby, in the waiting area, people may have to wait in their cars, and we may have to call you or let you know when you're okay to come in, or text to come in. We may have to, set up some tape around. I've already been to a facility where at the front desk, it's taped off 6 feet away from the receptionist. So, they may have to mark these areas within their facility as well so that people know where they can and can't stand, and there's no confusion or none of, to kind of avoid all the awkwardness of it's getting too crowded in here. Just already have that whole concept laid out for their customers.
Yeah, I agree. And it's gonna take some consideration and some supplies, some coordination at the front desk, and maybe even pulling in your front desk staff for some additional training for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now's a really good time to start planning for that. I've actually noticed too, speaking of staff, a lot of salons and spas are getting trained in barbicide disinfectant. They're taking courses from that company on sanitation, I guess you could say.
Making sure your client feels safe.
Yeah, you want your customers to feel safe. And, it made me think back to a lot of the state regulations, the state laws we already have in place. The towels have to be in a covered container, certain things like that. Use your barbicide. Salons, I have to definitely credit, have always practiced, in a very clean manner. But now this just is very important that they express to their customers that they're doing that as well. So.
Exactly. And I think that when people are finally ready to kind of come out of hibernation and they're ready to enjoy these types of services again, having been in contact with someone, having maintained a relationship with someone during that time is really going to give them something to look forward to. So just letting them know kind of what you're doing for sanitation is also a way of keeping in contact with them, and, reassuring them that you're there waiting.
I agree.
You're there waiting with their deposit. No.
Well, and it keeps them engaged, right? It's going to keep your customers engaged, as you said. It's continuing to build the trust that your clients already have in you. Let alone, if I can't get in with you for a few weeks, I really need my haircut. If I really trust you and I know that you're working in a clean environment and I'm not scared to go see you, I would probably most likely just wait to get in with you than even try to call somewhere else, because I think people are going to feel so desperate. They're going to try to get in anywhere that they can if they can't get in with who they normally see. Though I think they'll try who they normally see first, but I do believe that constant communication, that constant trust building is going to really ensure that your clients aren't going to look elsewhere as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So on that note, what do you think of these salons that are offering home root kits and kind of guiding the client to do their own services at home? Like, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos on how to cut your own hair.
Good Morning America actually just showed how to do a men's cut, actually. So on national news, they had one of their anchors doing a haircut on her husband, and I believe it was, walked her through it. So yeah, it's quite common to, for the walking through of the cuts. I know the colors, there's quite a few companies out there already right now that salons are going to have to compete with. There's that already offer, go online, fill out the consultation, we'll mail you the color and the directions how to apply it. So that's been going on for a few years. It hasn't been popular, but they've definitely been marketing heavily right now. So I think that salons, it's a good idea for salons to entertain that. I think it seems a little bit expensive and pricey and hard to get the kits out to your clients, but I don't know. I think there's competition out there, so they do need to look into that as well.
So yeah, so my first thought on this was, oh no, I would never have told my clients to do that. But,
no.
After they extended the stay-at-home order a couple times, thinking back, knew that I had clients when I was practicing hair that absolutely would have taken matters into their own hands and would have done something
terrible,
awful, yes, without my help. So I guess my thinking on it has adjusted from the beginning of this to where we're at now. I am seeing a lot, like you said, of companies that are already offering it to clients and saying it's a professional match and so forth. So you don't really want your clients to kind of stray.
No.
So
that could take you away your every 4-week client base. Your 4-weekers, they're going to do a 4-week touch up on their own in between. So you want to accommodate them.
Yeah. So I think just keeping best possible practices, keep it professional looking. Don't just give them color and processing fluid and hope for the best, no better than to pre-mix it before you give it to them. You definitely want everything airtight or it's going to start to oxidize right away, and let them know it's time sensitive. People will absolutely, oh, I picked up my root kit and now I'm going to go grocery shopping. No.
It's
Not with
also a
prescription
great
products.
way, it is a great way for these salons to generate some revenue, create some extra income while this is going on. So it might be something salons want to do. Number one, going back to the trust building, staying in communication, as well as, maintaining how often their client comes in without them finding another resource. It's another great way for them to generate some revenue. So.
Mm-hmm. And I do think it's fair to charge for that service. I've talked to a couple hairdressers where they're like, well, what do you do? Charge them? Yeah. Yes, you charge them. You charge them not just for your product. I would recommend staying involved while they're putting the color on. That's where those teleconsultations are going to come in handy again. You set one up and you spend that hour with them, walking them through how to put it on their hair, or with their quarantine buddy on how to put it on their hair. But, your time is still worth money. Offer your time and charge for it.
I can't imagine. I mean, I assume stylists may want to offer that for free, but I definitely would think that their clients would also assume there's going to be a fee for that. It's advice they're giving and it's a kit they're selling. So I totally agree. They should be charging for that.
And let's be realistic. You're teaching them a new skill that they're probably going to want to keep using. So by doing this, you're still going to keep your color formula to yourself. So you're not, and even if you only use one color on them, I wouldn't give them that tube so they know that. Keep your color formula to yourself. That's proprietary. Put it in an airtight container that they can mix it in later. That is your money. That's your bread and butter. So don't give them their formula. You're better off giving them their mixed color than giving them your formula, because that's how they start doing things on their own, or they take that information elsewhere.
Absolutely. We don't want to share all the secrets, right?
No. No.
This is aside from the conversation, but to get this conversation going, a post from one of my friends at the hairdresser, she posted on Facebook how much she misses her clients. She can't wait to get behind the chair and see everyone again. So, it really just goes to show the friendships and there are different relationships that we build with our clients. It's a lot more than just doing hair. So I do wish everybody a lot getting back. I hope they're able to see all of their clients soon. I know that they miss them, and I hope it all works out very well.
Perfectly said, Andrea. I just encourage everybody to get a plan together. That's going to be key in making this a success. Get your plan ahead of time and get your supplies ahead of time, and stay in contact with your clients, because that's going to be huge. And I know everybody here is looking forward to getting back to work, myself included. So enjoy. It's going to be like the holidays. It's going to be crazy, but it's going to be amazing to see everybody again.
And we'll get through it. You'll all get through it.
Yes.
So. Well, be safe. Be safe, everyone.
Yes. Take care. And don't be afraid to reach out to one another.
We want to hear your stories. Please join us and tell us your experiences with this difficult time. Did you apply for a CARES loan? Are you making plans to reopen? How has this affected your business?